Hi, this is Tlish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. I hope you are excited for WWE figures, the WWE Starter Set Mixed Match Challenge, and WWE Rock and Sock Connection Starter Set, because that's what we're unboxing today. So let's get right to it. We're going to be looking at the new Powers and Abilities card for the this seems to be easily openable. Here. We're look at the new PAC card, the Powers and Abilities card for the new wrestling rules, WWE rules, because they have added 8 new powers and a new WWE team ability, which does special things. Oh, we have some new maps too. We have some maps. Let's take a look at what we got. So this one here is the Mixed Match Challenge WWE Starter Set, which comes with a ring. It comes with a wrestling ring. So it contains AJ Styles. Contains AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte Flair, and also the WWE Ring, as well as 2 maps, some dice. I would really like to. I would have liked to see. I know the starter sets usually come with just ordinary white dice, but I would have liked to see. Maybe they'll print it in the future. Maybe they'll come out with in the future. WWE dice, custom dice. You know, maybe I'll get some of those for when I'm playing WWE. It'll be fun. So here we have, let's see what we got here. We got some dice. Here we have our cards for our figures and our WWE ring. I'll be showing those in a second. Okay. Here's WWE ring. See if we can get everything unpackaged. Without breaking it. So here's Sasha Banks. That's Finn Balor. Finn Balor looking like he's stomping on somebody. He's looking very angry. Charlotte Flair in her gear, in her robes, in her Flair-esque robes, and then AJ Styles. Now these are some of the newer wrestlers. These are not the old school '80s wrestlers, but these are you know, for people who watch WWE. AJ Styles, I think he's had a few championships already. Finn Balor's pretty good. Charlotte Flair is, of course, Ric Flair's daughter, and she's risen up through the ranks in the WWE. And Sasha Banks, I'm not the hugest WWE fan. I do like WWE, but I would consider myself a casual fan, so I don't know 100%. I think Sasha Banks' finishing move is the bank statement, which I love the names of the finishing moves. Well, let's look at her card. Yeah. Well, Meteora, but I think she also has the bank statement. Let me see if I can get this ring out of here. I'm gonna need the knife for this. Don't want to mess up the ring. I'm excited for the ring because I always like the boxing ring. So this is like the new. This is a kind of similar to the boxing ring, but it is pauper legal. So if you're playing pauper, all of these figures and the ring are pauper legal. I can only get it out of the box. Come on, get out of the box. Just cut away right there. I'll definitely make this so it doesn't fall out. There we go. We got some plastic out of there. There we go. There's a WWE ring. Okay, it looks very pretty. Okay, let's see what it does. Special terrain is terrain that is completely completely replaces the terrain below it. Okay, so these are just the normal special terrain rules. Special terrain has a point value and is added to your starting force. As long as it isn't on the map, the terrain below it doesn't exist. If it doesn't specify what terrain type it is, the default any unspecified squares are clear squares. The consolation, if you can't place this special terrain, instead you can use the consolation effect below. At the beginning of the game, choose a friendly character once per game. You may re-roll that character's attack once per game. You may re-roll an attack targeting that character. So get like a once per game prob on that character, kind of. Well, it's better than prob because you don't need range or line of fire. But that's the consolation. So that's if you can't place the WWE ring. If you do place it, so the placement rules are that special terrain must be placed at least 3 squares from any starting area. It can't be placed over other special terrain or over orange squares. You can only have one special terrain between your starting force and the starting sideline. And when a player loses the game because all characters of 1 point or more on their force have been KO'd, special terrain on their force is scored, whether it is placed on the map or not. So even if you couldn't place it, the opponent still scores it if they KO all your characters. Well, I don't know if you can you place over multiple elevations? Not sure, but anyway. So what the ring does here? Ropes exist along the edge of the ring. When you knock a character back into the ropes, you may choose that their knockback path continues in the opposite direction, back along that same path. So that's pretty neat. So you can take a piece, knock it into the rope, and then it'll bounce off the rope in the other direction. And I don't know if you could keep doing that. I suppose you could. So if you you had knocked back somebody 10, for example, you knock them back 10 squares, you can knock them into one rope, knock them back an extra 5 squares into the other rope, and then knock them back another however many squares you have left back the opposite direction. So you could just keep bouncing them off the ropes, which is a fun little flavorful effect. Then once per turn, you may re-roll the close attack of a friendly character in the ring. Now, I don't know if that's just you, that gives you an advantage for just you, or I'm imagining it's for any character that's in the ring, yours or your opponent's. So once per turn, you may re-roll the close attack of a friendly character in the ring. And then once per turn, you may re-roll the range attack of an opposing character outside the ring that's targeting a friendly character inside the ring. Okay, so, it's similar to the boxing ring. The boxing ring gave a -2 to the attack of characters targeting inside the ring from outside the ring. This is a little bit milder, but granting a reroll once per turn is really good. So gives you a little added defense. I like it. I like this. I like the ring. it's going to be definitely, you know, usable in Pauper, so that's good. Let's put that aside and let's look at the actual pieces. So let's take a look at Charlotte Flair first. Here is Charlotte Flair. There she is. You can see she's got a all the wrestling characters have 0 range, and they all have Indomitable, all of them that I've seen so far. But the thing about the 0 range is, and I figured this out by reading the rulebook, is that they have a team ability, and I have to look. Let me look at the pack to see if it says on the. Let's see if it says on the pack. I imagine it says on the pack. Multiverse games. Okay, so part of their WWE team ability is that they have bounce and pin as their team ability. So bounce means that for regular maps that don't use the WWE Ring, you can treat hindering and blocking terrain, printed hindering and printed blocking terrain as ropes. And you'll see how ropes come into play later when you're using powers like Flying Leap. So ropes is an official term that you use for certain powers in the WWE rulebook. Pin is something that also every character has a every wrestling character has. If you look at their trait, they all have a trait called signature move. So this is a mechanic where after you use the signature move, you may free action choose an adjacent opposing character that's on a blue click number, and that this character hit with their signature move this turn. You may roll a d6, and if your result is higher, deal that character 1 penetrating damage, and repeat this process. If your opponent rolls a 6, which is a kick out, then that character heals 1 click, and it ends the process. Let's look at Charlotte Flair's dial again. If we look at it, she's got red click number, red click number, red click number, red click number, blue click number, blue click number, blue click number. Okay, so her last 3 click numbers are blue click numbers. If you were to attack Charlotte Flair with a signature move and then bring her down to her blue click number, then you can pin her. Then you can attempt to pin her. Okay. But then also the WWE team ability, so that the bounce and pin are both part of the team ability, the WWE team ability. But there's also something called WWE rules, grand entrance, and those are also added to the WWE team ability in multiverse games. So I'll show you on the pack. If I can bring it up here. Okay. So if you look down at the very bottom where it says WWE team ability, it's uncopyable, and you can bounce, pin, WWE rules, and grand entrance. These are from multiverse games. Multiverse games are games with WWE figures and with regular figures, Marvel, DC, or whatever, Star Trek. So if you're mixing figures with WWE figures, then the WWE team ability becomes bounce, pin, WWE rules, and grand entrance. Now, WWE rules state that all of the powers from the WWE pack are now added to the game, but also, and this is interesting, this character can't be the target of range attacks or outwit if they're on click number 1, or if they're on a blue click number, or if they've been already targeted by a range attack this turn. So it protects them against range attacks pretty well, because all the characters when they start are going to be on their first click. So you can't shoot them to start. You're going to have to hit them with a close attack to get them down to their second click or third click before you can shoot them. And if they are really injured and they're on their blue click numbers, then you can't shoot them again. Then that's another time you can't use range attacks. Finally, if you hit them once with a range attack, you can't then shoot them again with another character. Once they've been targeted by a range attack, and it doesn't even have to hit them, it could miss them as long as they've been targeted by a range attack. That turn, then they can't be targeted again by a range attack. So that kind of evens the playing field, because obviously all the WWE figures have 0 range. Let's see. Also, grand entrance is interesting. During your first turn, this only happens in multiverse games, but during your first turn, if this character is in your starting area, they have free move. So you could take all of your WWE figures in a multiverse game and move them for free the first turn if you choose to. Full move. So if your opponent comes up on you and they're within range, and you want to move 10, and then I guess they're not going to have 10 move. Most of them won't be that fast, but like Charlotte Flair's got a 7 move. Do you want to move her 7 and then charge for 4 more and then attack 11 squares away? You can do so in a multiverse game because she has charge. So let's take a look at the actual dials. But I thought that was interesting to note that. And we're going to be looking at the other powers too as we go along. Let me put away these tokens. I'm actually really glad to have these hindering tokens and stuff, because I was kind of running out of them. And with a lot of the new pieces in the game, like Juggernaut and Gardner and stuff like that, you need a lot of hindering tokens. So I'm glad to get some more tokens from these starter packs. It's been a while since I think we had. When was our last actual starter set? Well, I know there are some other starter sets out there now, because like I think Orville just came out. I haven't really looked at it, but it seems pretty cool. So here, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has one. If Charlotte Flair has one action token, lightning speed. When she uses it, if she moves only in a direct path and then hits after resolutions, give a hit character an action token. Okay. So the lightning speed is it's the brown one, brown circle on the speed powers. Okay. It's power. It's a power action, so you cannot combine it with charge. But it is moves through characters only when you activate the power action. So that does not mean that Charlotte Flair always moves through characters. Only when you activate the power action. She moves through characters, move up to 3 squares, then make a close attack, then move up to 2 squares. So yeah, that's her move. And then if she does it in direct path and hits, give a character an action token. She also has another trait, mixed match talent, phenomenal flair, slam. When Charlotte Flair uses it and the target is adjacent to a character named AJ Styles, you may choose both options of slam. So the way slam works, it's an attack power. It is light blue, and it's a circle, because all of the Heroclix powers are circles instead of squares on the actual dial itself. So it would be a light blue circle. Close, make a close attack. After resolutions, choose one. Give a hit character an action token, or place a hit character in a square adjacent to this character. So she has traded slam, which means that she can, since it is a close action, she can combine it with charge. So she can charge up 4, half her move, and then combine that with slam, and then make a close attack. And if she hits a character, she can, if she's adjacent to AJ Styles, then she can give the character an action token and place the character in an adjacent square. So it's kind of like if you picture slamming somebody and flipping them over you into an adjacent square, which is pretty neat. Okay, so that's what slam does. It's light blue. Okay. She also has on her dial, she is 75 points. She has 7 movement with charge, 11 attack, 18 defense with toughness, indomitable, and 3 damage with empower. So that is Charlotte Flair in this mixed match challenge starter set. Okay, let's look at another character. So let's look at Sasha Banks. So here is Sasha Banks. Oh, she's there. There she is. That's what she looks like. I'll put her on her first click. It's going to already tell she has nimble, submission hold, it looks like, perplex, and toughness. Okay, 7 movement with nimble, 10 attack with submission hold, 17 defense with toughness, and 2 damage with perplex. So her the nimble, as you can see, is that black circle, and in the movement slot, and in the speed slot, and then in the attack slot, the brown circle is submission hold. Okay, so her signature move is Meteora. If Sasha Banks has 1 action token, Flying Leap, when she uses it and hits, after resolutions, a hit character gains immobile until your next turn. And you may heal her 1 click. Okay? And then her other trait is Slingshot. When Sasha Banks knocks back a character until your next turn, if that character is adjacent to a character named Finn Balor, modify its defense -1. Okay, so let's explain some of those powers. Flying Leap is, first of all, it's combinable with Nimble because she starts with Nimble. Nimble is the black speed power, but it's not stealth because stealth is a square, Nimble is a circle. So Nimble would be a black circle. And what Nimble is that it automatically states she is improved movement hindering, breakaway +2, and she can free move up to 1 square. So it's kind of like WWE's version of sidestep, but it has some improved movement abilities and that improved breakaway. So that's pretty cool. So Sasha Banks can move 1 square for free. Then she can Flying Leap. In addition to moving that 1 square, she can Flying Leap up to 3 squares. That's what Flying Leap does. So Flying Leap is, here, I'll just show you on the pack. Flying Leap, power, improved movement hindering, and improved movement characters. That's only when you activate the power. Move up to 3 squares, then make a close attack, modifying attack +1. If the character started adjacent to 2 ropes, she also modifies her damage +1. Okay, so like I don't know if I can show you on here, but if Sasha Banks, that wouldn't count because she's not adjacent to 2 ropes. Those printed hindering squares are considered ropes in a multiverse game. But if she was adjacent to both of them, like let's say she's over here and she's adjacent to 2 squares of hindering, then she can move up 3. She can move up 3, ignoring characters or improved movement characters, and improved movement hindering, and she can, the reason why they did that was because you're imagining her leaping over somebody. So, and then if she started with those 2 ropes adjacent, and it has to be adjacent along the edge, not the corners, so not diagonally. But if she did start adjacent to 2 ropes, then she gets +1 damage. So she has a possibility of, if you look at her card, she has Perplex. So, with that flying leap, she can get her damage up to 3, and then with the Perplex, she can get her damage up to 4. So possibility of 4 damage with a flying leap, or either 11 attack, 3 damage, or 12 attack. Either 12. So it would be with the flying leap, and starting with the 2 ropes and flying leap, she would have an 11 attack, 3 damage, because the flying leap adds 1 + 1 to the attack, so it would be 11, 3. Then she can use that Perplex if she wants to make it 11, 4 or 12, 3. Okay. That's a pretty good attack right there. And then she has something called Submission Hold, and Submission Hold is on her first click. And Submission Hold is, I just have to check, free. It's kind of like their version of Poison. It is brown circle for the attack. If this character hasn't been moved or placed this turn, deal 1 damage to target adjacent opposing character. Both characters gain immobile until your next turn. So if you're basing somebody, and then you're basing somebody, and then they, and I guess they attack and they miss you, and now it's your turn, and you can submission hold them, which is similar to Poison. Hopefully you'll deal them a damage because they don't have any reducers. So you deal them a damage. Even if you don't, they still gain immobile, which is pretty cool. So, but you get immobile too. So now you're stuck there with the other figure, basing each other. They can't move. You can't move. They can still attack you, because I think you can still attack when you're immobile. But hopefully you damage them enough that your figure has the upper hand in that battle between the 2 immobile figures. And I've heard things like that if you combine it with Poison, because you can stack them on top of each other in multiverse games, so you can both submission hold and Poison, which is pretty cool. Obviously, pretty good combo. So that's Sasha Banks. Let's look at Finn Balor. Finn Balor is one of these, I think, one of the really good ones from this starter set. I've already heard about and read about these figures a little bit. So Finn Balor, I'm forgetting to read the keywords too. They all have WWE keywords. Sasha Banks has 4 Horsewomen and Demon Boss. Charlotte Flair has 4 Horsewomen, Phenomenal Flair, and WWE. Finn Balor has Demon Boss, WWE, and Mystical. So there you go. You can add him to a Mystical team. He has, his signature move is Coup de Grace. If Finn Balor has 1 action token, Flying Leap, which we already talked about. When he uses it, a hit character can't use defense powers until your next turn. So that's really good. That's like a Green Arrow type of power where you're taking away defense powers, period. So and then he has his other trait, which is the trait that comes along with this Mix Match Challenge starter set, is called Demon Boss. Slingshot. When Finn Balor knocks back a character until your next turn, if that character is adjacent to a character named Sasha Banks, modify its defense -1, which was the same thing Sasha Banks had. And I forgot to go over Slingshot. Slingshot is purple. It is a speed power. It's purple circle. Okay. Knockback. Here. knockback, but you may choose the direction of that knockback, which is really neat. And that character, you can knock back somebody that can use charge or combat reflexes, and you still knock them back. So you're like slingshotting the Hulk into walls and stuff. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is, if you are, let's say you've got the guy against the wall, you knock them back into the wall, right? And you choose the direction of the knockback, but now they're still adjacent to you because they were knocked into the wall. It says free, make a close attack targeting a character an adjacent character that this character knocked back this turn. So you knocked back somebody into the wall. They don't move because they're still adjacent to you. Now you can free make a close attack against that character that you already attacked that turn. So you got free attacks. Anytime you see free attacks in Heroclix, that's good. So, free attacks are good. So that's Finn Balor. Let's see how many points he has. I think they're all 75. Oh, this one's he's only 70. Were the other two 75? Yeah. So Finn Balor's only 70. And he's got charge along with that flying leap. I don't think you can combine charge and flying leap. No, you can't. Flying leap is a power action, so you cannot combine charge with flying leap. But if he does make that flying leap, he removes the defense power from the hit character, so that's really good. He's got 11 attack, 17 defense, 3 damage with empower. So I like Finn Balor because of that special. And then let's look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles. If AJ Styles has one action token, Flying Leap. When he uses it, a hit character can't use speed or attack powers until your next turn. So if you notice, all the signature moves, you need one action token in order to use them. So, ideally you move them up one, you move them first somewhere, and then you activate, and then you get a chance to use your signature move. Or, however you choose to do your first action, but they have to have an action first, or an action token on them, before they can use their signature move. Mixed Match Challenge, Phenomenal Flair, Slam, when AJ Styles uses it and the target is adjacent to a character named Charlotte Flair, you may choose both options of Slam. That's exactly what Charlotte Flair had. So, an AJ Styles, I don't know if he has charge also. Yes, he does. Okay, so you can charge and slam at the same time, which is good. And he's got prob. So, you can charge and slam. He's got prob. Only 2 damage, but he's also got, and this is important to note, he's got 17 defense with close combat expert, which makes him a little bit hard to hit. He's also got a long, the wrestlers have kind of long dials, and he's got regen at the end of his dial. So being protected from range attacks so much that they are, and also the fact that he's got close combat expert with 17 defense, so it's going to make him a 19 defense against close attacks. If you're playing exclusively WWE figures, it's going to make him really hard to hit, because there are no range attacks in WWE. So if you're only just doing wrestling versus wrestling, he's going to be a pretty tough character to take out because of his defense. Important things to note in WWE, there are no, if you're playing just WWE figures, there are some powers that are just not in the pack. For example, Impervious and Invincible, not in the pack. I think the highest reducer is Invulnerable. There is no, there's obviously no range powers. There's no running shot. There's no pulse wave. There's no range combat expert. There is close combat expert though. So the other powers do exist. Yeah. So also the defense values, as you can see, they're kind of low for these figures. There's a lot of 17s and 16 defenses. So combat reflexes is a pretty good power for defense in the WWE set, because it adds 2 to the defense for most any attack that you'll see in WWE. So yeah, that's just something I noticed. So okay, those are all 4 figures from in here. Did you see the other 2? This is AJ Styles, what he looks like. He's like pretty excited there. He's standing there pretty excited. And then there's Finn Balor, the angry looking guy, stomping on somebody. Okay, so those are the might be a little too much. There we go. So those are the mixed match challenge. It's the mixed match challenge starter set. Nope, I tried to put that under there, the ring, but yeah, you can see the ring here. There's the ring again, beautiful ring. I still like the boxing ring, but the WWE ring, you know, obviously the boxing ring is going to rotate out eventually, and the WWE ring is pauper legal. So, pretty exciting to have this starter set. In a moment, we will also, I think I'm gonna split this up into 2 videos. But in a moment, I will unbox the Rockin' Sock Connection starter set, which I'm really excited to open up. So stay tuned and tune into my next video. I'm really excited to open up the Rockin' Sock Connection starter set, because it has Stone Cold and The Rock and Mankind and Triple H and I think Shawn Michaels. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. I mean, those are old school wrestlers. All right. So this is Tlish signing off, and stay tuned to my part 2 of my video on WWE figures.